Hey guys, so before the actual episode starts, I just wanted to talk a bit in this preface. So basically, this is the Sounds Legit podcast, episode 17, recorded on the 9th of July 2016, seeing as I always manage to fuck that up doing actual recording. So yeah, that's out of the way. I have a conversation with a good friend of mine called JBone. It's just unbeknownst to him, I was kind of in a hurry because I had to leave to get ready for a friend's birthday gig, so I kind of rushed things along, so I'd like to apologize for that in advance. And I also wanted to take the opportunity to give a shout out to an institution, an establishment actually, if I might add, called Cafe Skylark. Wake up early. So if you are ever in the Soham area, look up Cafe Skylark, which is on Churchgate Street, Cambridgeshire, if you live in the UK. Or you can just check out the website, sohamskylark.co.uk. That's www.sohamskylark.co.uk. This is, a business run by my friend. She's lovely, and she, it's nice if you're in that area, you just want coffee, cakes, the whole shebang. She got it. She'll sort you out. And I'm just giving a free promotion to my friend's business because she's the loveliest person ever. And so before this episode actually starts, I also want to give a shout out to Joey Diaz's Church of What's Happening Now, which is like a YouTube channel of the comedian Joey Diaz, who is one of the funniest comedians on the planet. And as is demonstrated by this clip I'm going to play after the preface ends, where Joey, in this particular clip, just goes on a fucking rant and still makes me laugh every single time I listen to it. So check out his channel on YouTube. That's Joey Diaz, or just search for Church of What's Happening Now. It has nothing to do with religion, but, it's just... The guy is amazing. I highly recommend you give his podcast a listen. Enjoy. This is Joey Diaz's clip from episode 245. And after that, the episode should proceed as normal. Thanks for listening, guys. And I swear to the Odin All-Father, I will get on Twitter and start promoting this shit better. And enjoy the episode. Episode 17. Let's go. Enjoy, guys. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
It's up to you. The ball's in your fucking court. No more fucking around. You want your life to be better? I can't help you. Lee can't help you. Joe Rogan can't help you. Ari can't help you. God can't fucking help you. Only you can fucking help you. Grab your fucking balls, get a fucking notebook, and write down what the fuck you're gonna do this year. And this is it. You're not gonna have these problems. Fuck the drugs. Fuck the cigarettes. Fuck that dumb bitch. It all starts fucking today, alright? No more fucking excuses. This is the year of the fucking soldier. It's 2015. We're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me? 2015, we're getting back what belongs to us. And that's it. No more fucking around. Play the national anthem, Lee. I'm sick of these motherfuckers. Let's go. The good one, too, with shoots and fucking people missing legs. I want to hear the good one, Lee Sayad. It's over. We're fucking Americans. I'm sick and fucking tired of your bullshit. If you're not sick and tired of your bullshit, and you're not sick and tired of society's bullshit, like can't breathe, put your hands up. Every fucking day there's something different. You're a fucking American, motherfucker. You don't want to get shot? Don't get fucking pulled over. You don't want to get fucking shot? Don't fucking do something wrong. Alright? I don't want to get fucking shot. I don't even shoplift no more. But that's me. You're a fucking American. It's January 5th. It starts today, you fucking maggot motherfucker. Stop blaming everything on everybody. And fucking American society and the fucking iPhone. Fuck you and the fucking iPhone. Fuck you and fucking Facebook. Fuck you and social media. It's all about you, you dumb motherfucker. Get up, grab your balls. Hug your wife, kiss the kid. Pick up the fucking dog. Stop it. Stop it. It's not all Obama's fault. You don't want Ebola? Take your vitamin C, you dumb motherfucker. You don't want ISIS to fuck with you? Stay in New Jersey. But stop your fucking crying. You're a fucking American, you fucking douchebag. Start acting like it. That's it. You're a fucking American. Motherfucker. That's it. It's over.
Okay, so now we're recording actually. So let's just do that whole intro one more time. Okay, guys.
Do you want me to do the little jingle again?
Yeah, why not? Go on.
Hang on, that wasn't the organ. We're going to need to do this third one. There we
Did
go.
you play that? Did you actually play that?
Well, that's what I just did, yeah.
Dude, you should like my producer. I need stuff like that.
This little jingle I came up with.
Absolutely,
I worked
yeah.
very long and hard on that.
Yeah, can you sell it to me? I'll pay you.
Yeah, I'll sell it to you.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, cool. Anyways, to my two or three listeners out there, welcome to the Sounds Legit podcast.
Hello, Bob and Stan.
Yeah. That lovely fellow you just heard is JBone, very good friend of mine, and he's agreed to sell me an audio jingle, which I will probably appropriate for this podcast going forward. This should be episode, and this is how horrible I am. I don't know what episode this is.
Why don't I look? Do you want me to tell you?
That'll be useful.
So you can get there first. He's got the fastest broadband. I mean, the other person in the household is on the Skype, I think, at the moment, so it might have bad reception.
That's fine. Right, this should be episode 17. And don't worry, I will basically blurt that bit out because,
This is episode 17, isn't it?
Yeah, 17. Yeah, I'm banging this out. Because if you followed the iTunes thing, I haven't uploaded anything on there because I reached my account's limit.
Okay.
So, I think I stopped at episode 11. So, on the iTunes.
You have to pay now.
I do pay.
Oh.
Well, I don't.
Pay more.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't pay iTunes. I pay my my host site. I think it's called Libsyn, so that's where I host it from.
Okay.
And then through some weird magic of the internet, it gets propagated because you have to submit your podcast to iTunes. They vet it and then they allow it on their platform, and then half the planet sees it afterwards. So. The only thing left for me now is to learn Twitter, which I don't know. I feel weird to do because I'm like, that's the last bastion of civility in my soul left. Because by the time I get on Twitter, that's it. I'm done. Everyone can see me, and I'll just be fighting with people to the end of time because a bunch of fucking crazy people.
You've exposed yourself to the whole world at that point.
Yeah, fucking demons, all of them. But no, so basically this is episode 17 of the Sounds Legit podcast, recorded on July the 9th, on Saturday 9th of July 2016. I thought I put the date timestamp in there as well because I always forget to do that. I am having a chat. We're having a conversation with JBone, very good friend of mine, very good buddy. So JBone, can you say hello to my two listeners one more time?
Hello.
Brilliant.
Hello.
Yeah.
Was that enthusiastic enough?
No, that was very enthusiastic.
Good.
Enthusiastic. I like it. I love it. So how you doing anyway?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed you and your buddies are playing a lot of like Europa Universalis.
Yeah, well, I haven't been joining that party for a while, but yeah, that's a good game. That our clan, as we call it.
Yes.
Because we're so old school.
Yeah.
Is mainly like into complete nerdy strategy games. So
yeah, I can't get into it, man. I mean, I know you tried to get me into it. Because I remember I told you that I did install Europa Universalis 3 because I got the game code from PC Gamer like 2 years ago.
I never played that. Let me have a look at the UI for it.
Oh my god, I cried. I just looked at it. It's like there was so many moving bits, so many texts. I'm like, how does... What?
EU4 was the thing since Crusade. Was the first game that I think it was Crusader Kings 2 was the first game that they actually made for a normal human being.
You mean Paradox, the guys, Paradox games?
Before then, Paradox games were like so abstract. You had to read like 200-page manual to understand.
Yeah.
So it was beyond my abilities, really.
Yeah.
From Crusader Kings 2, it became much easier.
Yeah.
So EU4 should be, I'd give it another go if I were you.
I don't
join us.
Well, I don't. I just tapped out. I see the the message streams from you guys, and I just say, you know what, it's good. I mean, I still play Civilization 3 to this day. I just played it this afternoon actually, and I'm quite chuffed. I've never actually finished any run because I get bored towards the late stage. The extent I got the last time I tried it, the game became unstable after I was winning. So I don't know. I felt cheated out of it, but. I am currently playing as the English, and I annihilated the Americans because they were very annoying. And I'm now the world power, actually. And one of the best things I do is I built a fleet of privateers that have no banners, so I can just attack enemy fleets with no repercussions. Because basically, I figured, I'm stuck on this Pangea, with the Incans, which I plan to. I already flipped one of the cities culturally, so I think I'm just going to invade them. But I just need
You're the
to,
English stuck on an island with the Incans.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and I'm feeling rather greedy at the moment because I am the world power. I have the most military units, and I have naval superiority, and yeah, I got a tech as well, and I'm very rich. I'm like, you know what? And I culturally flipped one of the cities, so I'm very chuffed about that. So I'm just gonna go to war with them and just maybe reduce them to just 6 cities because they have about 11. So I just want to take 5 away from them.
Yeah, just don't finish them. Just like kind of prune them like a good tree.
Yeah, turn them into a vassal state. No, but besides EU4, what do you play anyway?
Well, with the little time I've had, I've been playing the next Paradox game, the Hearts of Iron.
Okay.
Which I played a fair amount of.
Yeah.
To the state where I've quelmed my addiction now. Like you have that phase in the initial game.
You just want to play it all the time.
Yeah. You just want that hit. I've kind of got over that now, so it's good now. I can just play it when I want.
Okay.
I haven't played anything this weekend though yet.
Yeah. Reminds me of like when XCOM 2 came out earlier this year. Dude, I was sneaking in 12, 15, 13 minutes, just before. Yeah. Even before going to work, I'll just, look at this. Okay, so I should be at work at 9 o'clock. I'm ready to go by 8:04. I'm like, listen, I can sneak in another 30 minutes in there. So I'll just start my clock, perching for my computer, and then play to like 9:18. I was like, fuck! I just kick the door down and start sprinting towards the office.
If I like sprint to work, if I get a bike, get a road bike, and then go,
it's not fast
I can
enough.
have 5 minutes every day. More every day.
Yeah. Oh god, it's just horrible stuff. Oh well, but yeah, the same thing's happening.
Get addicted to, eh?
Yeah, man. I'm playing it now. I still haven't finished it. Don't you fucking spoil it for me.
You still.
I still haven't. Wait. I'm the only person that played Iron Man the entire time this game came out.
You got patience of a god.
Yeah. I had to disable the timer though. Yeah, because it was too punishing. I was like, fucking hell. There are some parts of the game. The game's mechanics weren't entirely fair to play on Iron Man, so I disabled the timer, and it's a lot more manageable now. So, can't complain.
So you didn't get to the cow TNT cow bit.
Okay, you
exploding cows.
You're on very thin ice, my pedigree chums. And I
shall be under it when it breaks.
Fucking love Bricktop. Feed him to the pigs, Errol. Oh my god. But speaking of movies, we promised we'll talk about this at length. So you found time to watch Star Wars: The Force Awakens, didn't you?
I had to confirm my suspicions
of
Star Wars.
Of what?
Well, that it was good. I watched it, loved it the first time, and then you were saying you hated it, and I was like,
absolutely.
I missed something. So I watched it again, and I like it even more.
I fucking I hate it so much. So much. Okay. So I still haven't seen it since I saw it in the cinema in December last year, and I honestly I didn't even want to watch it now. I'll probably watch it again, but I'll just probably text you about 2:00 in the morning. It's like I still fucking hate this shit. To the point now, I don't want. There's like a new movie coming out in December.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Yeah. I was like, no, I don't even want to. So I'm giving myself more work now.
Cut out all of it. It's very exciting being so anonymous. Yeah. I haven't got a very uncommon name though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh god. Right. So where do we start? Yeah.
What do you not like about it?
Well, the sheer fact that it had no plot cohesion.
It's easier for you to say. So it's the plot. Yeah, we've talked about.
Well,
this
so
before.
You're not gonna. What? Okay. Are you gonna? So you agree with me then that it has no plot?
I think I probably agree in the bits that I don't like about it. So let me say, I think I can probably list the things I don't like about it.
Go on.
So it's probably a little bit too close to episode 4, as in, it follows the beats a little bit too closely, to the extent that I could predict the big twist. And the second thing was another Death Star. I mean, I guess that's related. It's the same thing. It's like, what? another big Death Star. Oh yeah, and it wasn't just the fact it was a big planet-sized Death Star. It was the fact that firstly, what the hell was it doing, sucking a sun up and getting energy from it? That doesn't make sense, right? That doesn't make sense from any sort of real world level. So I had to make some. I basically had to retcon it in my head and pretend, and the sort of manufacture reasons to make it make sense. And also, was it capable of FTL? Because once it's like killed all the planets in the same system, what does it? It just chills out.
Yeah.
It seemed to be a danger. So I make two things up. I make the one thing up is that it sucks all the stuff in and it basically makes the fusion reaction inside it. Okay, right? That's
okay.
So it's basically turning itself into a sun. Right. Which is like not very good because they could just harvest the solar power with solar panels or something. But so I can't really fix that very easily. But in terms of I just presume it had FDL, so it could just go anywhere it wanted.
An entire planet has an FTL drive.
Why not?
Jesus Christ, man! You love this film, don't you? You said it, right? Oh
yeah, but that's the bit I have to like kind of, as I say, retcon out. I've got to try and I don't know if that's the right word actually, but
You forgave them, didn't you?
I have to basically reinvent the story of that part.
So
in my head.
You're obviously a better writer than whoever wrote that piece of shit.
Well, why was the Death Star could go between planets? Presumably?
Because that was like the size of like a miniature moon, and that was just built from scratch to be that way. But you're taking an object that's created during the birth of the universe, and it's an entire fucking celestial body. Even
sorry. I'm just like doing some research. Can you carry on? I'm doing some research.
Okay.
I should have done this before.
Oh my god. So basically,
a mobile ice planet.
Sorry.
It says it was a mobile ice planet.
Oh my god.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
Okay, wait. When you say all planets are all celestial bodies are mobile in a way. So because it's.
Well, I presume it means that it's able to, because it was not clear what it was destroying. That's the thing. Like, was it destroying things in the same universe,
solar system,
or was it going between solar systems? Because it's not very useful if it can only kill things in the same solar system.
Okay, so yes, where my logic starts to go nuts. Because are we saying this planet was in the same solar system as Coruscant, the capital of the Galactic Republic?
Okay. No, it didn't take down Coruscant.
What did it shoot?
Let me find the bit where it actually says what it did.
Because I think, if I recall, it took out Coruscant on that, like 3 other planets or something.
It was capable of destroying entire star systems halfway across the galaxy.
Yeah, how do you do that with pinpoint precision? I mean, what about? Okay, fine, I don't know.
So I think the idea is the weapon fired into other galaxies.
Bloody hell!
Into other parts of the galaxy.
Dude, man, that's a massive stretch. I mean,
it looked like it was going very slowly to me.
Fucking hell.
When it was coming out, it looked like it was going very, very slowly. It would take so in 2 million years. So maybe they skipped forwards like 100,000 years or something.
Yeah, dude, you tell me, because I just sat there, because I was in Germany at the time. I just sat there saying, "What the honest fuck is going on?" So this isn't just okay. My head's fucking. I have a headache now. So where the fuck was this ice planet? And it's nowhere near Coruscant. I thought Coruscant was being blown up. That's what I thought I saw.
It definitely didn't kill Coruscant. They're not going to do that.
Okay, so it definitely destroyed a few solar systems. Even then, man, I mean, Jesus Christ, the distances between solar systems. I mean, that's madness. It shot from one solar system into a solar system, not even the one closest to it, but probably a lot farther than it, with pinpoint accuracy, and just annihilated entire life forms. And for me, it's just like, I don't know how, okay, so this is why the previous Star Wars films, the Death Star made sense, because it's a mobile it's a weapon of mass destruction. It had FTL, like faster than light engines to travel. At least I assume so, because I've never actually seen it, but we do know it's very mobile. So that made sense. So if it's that mobile, you would assume that it has FTL. So I get that. I buy it. That's why it's a threat, because this thing can just turn up in your solar system and start. It's like a drive-by. It's like a drive-by, like a planet killer drive-by thingy. So it could just, just appear at the edge of his solar system, cruising and start taking out planets. Yeah, that's what made it so menacing. But you had an entire planet that's like a Death Star. And so for me, it's like, couldn't they just be more creative or something. I mean, if they're putting another Death Star in there, I would like, fine, we've reused it the third time, but still, I get it, And then again, why build a Death Star kind of thingy? You know by now that this is
with a weak spot. You got to have that same engineer that like keeps building these things with a weak spot.
I mean, did no one learn that maybe this is why the Empire fell? The rebels destroyed the first one, they narrowly destroyed the second one. So what? Third time's the charm?
Well, it's bigger.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
a planet.
So it destroyed, if you're interested, Hosnian Prime and 4 other planets in the Hosnian system. But I don't know if it was in that system. I'm presuming actually what happens is that it fires across system.
Okay, so
which doesn't really make sense unless it can.
What about thermal bloom?
Warp space time.
There you go.
Something.
Does thermal bloom not affect it or something? The longer it travels, the less intense that whole focus beam becomes and whatnot. I mean, you would have thought maybe the worst thing would have done would be to cause fuckloads of skin cancer. Those planets probably a couple of years in advance. Like, wait, why is it so bright? Mommy, I can't see. So I had a massive issue with that. And
so that's not good, is it?
It's not.
Okay, what was your other issue? See if I can agree with and come to a different conclusion.
The bad guy. What's his name? Kyle Reese.
Oh, that was the other thing I didn't like was the CGI characters.
What? Oh, okay.
Which is the opposite of the very thing I really did like, which was almost all of it was with real, solid models. You can see it was real things in front of, I mean, the best things were like the stormtroopers just being like blown up and spinning, doing catapults. Yeah. They were just like, that could never go old.
Okay. I think they did that, what's that particular audio clip, Scream? Ow! Or something.
Yeah, Wilhelm
Scream. Where is that from anyway?
It was from some original, like, I don't actually know. Let's have a look.
You do the search. I'm the host. You do the work.
I don't know which movie it was originally from.
Probably from the 80s, actually.
It started in the film Distant Drums.
What? Yeah, I heard it. That's hilarious. What movie? What kind of movie was that?
Distant Drums.
Yeah, is it like a drama or something?
Black and white, Florida Western film.
Florida. Oh, Florida. Dude, hey, by the way, did you hear about that shooting in...
Yeah,
bloody
pretty
hell,
grisly.
Man. Woo! Can you imagine if that's how the Second American War kicked off?
So the Second Civil War.
Yeah. What did I say?
Well, you said American War.
Yeah, Second Civil War. Yeah. Imagine if that's how that whole thing kicked off. They were afraid of that. In the 60s, 70s, when the Black Panthers were going crazy.
Yeah.
They managed to calm them down.
I think one thing I was wondering about recently was like, what would it take for another civil war in a modern democratic country?
Yeah.
What would you? How bad would it have to get? I think you have to arm. That's the thing. You have to arm the people that are rebelling. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very long.
No.
War.
But in America, it's very possible because almost everyone there has guns.
Yeah, in this country, it's hard to believe that it would ever happen.
Yeah, we're just like.
Because even with the 48% of us remains.
Yeah, I mean.
Even if you got, you'd have to arm us for at least to have a civil war.
All you need to do is just, blockade the post office so no one can send you letters. That's how you stop civil wars.
A very British civil war.
You just basically march military units and just blockade all the post offices so no one can actually send you letters. So you just head it off at the pass. Because it all starts with letters of complaints in this country. Everyone has to write a strongly worded letter of complaints. And then, you probably get, if you ignore like the 7th one, that's when things start to get crazy. That's when the phone calls start. And
you've forgotten we have to do a health and safety report.
Absolutely,
first, before we embark on this potentially dangerous civil war.
And preferably in orderly queues as well.
Yeah. That's not how they do it in America. I was watching something, I can't remember what it was. Some American was on a talk show and they were like talking about police beating the shit out of people, and they were going, no, police don't beat the shit out of people in this country. They're just so used to police being violent because they're basically in America. They're just people that want to play with guns, and I mean this is the gross generalization of the whole police force of America, but they got a slightly different reputation. Here they're a little bit more
measured.
Yeah, well, they're not like, it's not like, here you go, here's a gun. Otherwise, we would get probably crazy people like saying, "Oh, I want to be a police officer, so I can like wield a gun all day." I mean, I walked past a police car in the States, and there was a submachine gun in the middle of in between. It was right in between the two seats. Now, isn't that a bit excessive? I mean, at what stage do you say, you know, my pistol's not enough. I need to go to the car and get a bloody submachine, you know, MP5. You know, it's like, that's not enough right now. I can't call for backup. I need to go and get my bloody sub. And
it's a one-man army. Yeah.
It was a bit crazy. That was a bit worrying. And they have shotguns as well. That's a bit
dude, have you seen those automatic shotguns? Just like bam, 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 bam. You know, like, ugh. God. I mean, but you got to think of it this way. I mean, America is a much larger country with a larger population. And, I mean, what? England is UK in total. Okay, just England alone is like what, 68 million?
But we got higher density though, so that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, I suppose so. But
that's how close people are, like, to brush shoulders and get all of this angst. You know, this sort of whatever skin color. You know, anything basically. You decide, just choose your prejudice and go ahead. But the closer people are, the worse it gets. I think the more dense it populated.
Yeah, but then again, I probably have to check you on that because California has 38 million people. Let's just start with that.
Well, that's probably quite.
There you go.
Dense,
How's that for density? Or New York?
Unfortunately, I can't not have facts.
Go on then. Go on. I'm sure I'm annoying most of my you're just like, why didn't you guys do your research beforehand?
I know, I'm just having to do research on the job. Right, so I'm going to tell me the whole of by... What is it? It's got some weird symbols here. 11...
Okay.
11 exclamation mark 11. What the hell? Okay, it's because it's like been... California.
I think we'll probably have to, for the interest of sanity and people not ripping their headphones out of the ears now, we'll probably have to just, you know, they have to take our words for it, JBone.
What was your point?
My point being California has half the population of the UK living in one spot.
I'm just looking at a massive table, so yeah, maybe like I'll
it's
do the research
better if
offline.
we just, you know, let's just fly. Let's just fly.
You should just edit these things. Then we can just, you know.
I try. It's extra work for me, and I try to keep it as organic as possible, really. No, but I saw that, you know, the news thingy. I was like, Jesus Christ. So apparently, you know, it was doing a Black Lives Matter rally, and then these people just started opening up on the police, and they said they were targeting white police officers. So you can tell, you know, you can't always argue causation, but there is a correlation between all those, you know, police shooting black dudes or black, you know, African Americans, and with this, the whole thing's a mess. And I'm thinking, yeesh, you know, I mean,
because you don't want to go to America, do you? That's off your list.
That's way off my list, dude. I was like, I watched this video. It's one of those videos on YouTube. I don't know why I do this, where they were just demonstrating how racism still exists in modern societies. And I go into this whole YouTube thread about some guy saying, oh, you know, saying like, why are black people, you know, always behaving like the world's against them, saying there's nothing to worry about, and they're feeble-minded to be thinking that way. So I checked the guy saying, dude, you don't.
Who said that?
Random crazy person, you know, YouTube's full of crazy person. So I checked the guy saying, dude, you don't even know what that feels like, man, when people just discriminate because of the pigmentation of your skin. So just chill out, please. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, in the same thread, some other guy just basically came up to me and said something about like how, and I just read it with incredulity because it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was so tired before going to bed. It was saying something about how, you know, African Americans or blacks, they lack a certain FYA gene or something, so that causes some behavioral craziness in us, so we can't be civilized. We're always acting like beasts and whatnot. So I just said, okay.
Is that biological fact true, though?
It's not.
I mean,
just
was it who's saying this? Is it just some random
on the internet, you know? So I decided to read, you know, what I just googled, say what's an FYA gene, and you can.
I've never heard
likewise, you can look it up. Apparently, it's the common nomenclature is something called the Duffy genes or something, and it has to do with receptors
I just read. It's like the thing I read here is that blacks are not monkeys and will never be.
Jesus, really?
That was the second hit when I searched for
Bloody
FYA.
hell. Okay. So basically, I was reading that it turns out it's something called the Duffy genes, and it's receptors
Yeah, I'm reading.
on the red blood cells that, amongst other things, that it affects in the body. It basically like controls the way in which malarial parasites interact with red blood cells. And ironically, in contrast to what this fucking asshole was saying, there is a version or variation of this particular genes where I think that's the F parentheses A minus B minus parentheses closed kind of gene that is found in most Africans, and that basically makes African, apparently because of that prevalence in that particular gene, Africans are more resistant towards malarial parasites. So basically, at the very least. So I basically went back to this guy and said, you know what? You don't even understand what the fuck FYA means, And I basically corrected him, said, dude, shut the fuck up, And I basically sat back and said, this is the problem now with racism, because it's just people that just talk shit, without understanding.
Well, it's like they get some weird shred of fact, right? Which is true. There's different gene, right? Expressed in, as an African, and then just like go wild with like, okay, well that means they're monkeys.
Exactly. And I was like, fucking hell. So I asked him, I was like, what does the receptor of, like a protein that acts as a receptor in the red blood cells have to do anything with behavior? I'm like, are you fucking insane? You don't even know what you're fucking talking about. And I became slightly depressed because I'm like, this is generally the problem with racists, man. It's like they don't necessarily. They're dumb. I don't know how else to say it. They're just. You
should have found some gene that was prevalent in Caucasians or whatever it was. That and then blame that on him. Yeah,
that would have been shit flinging left and right, back and forth, which I had no patience for. But I was so surprised, and naturally, I happened upon some. I'm never going to say some websites where it's all just action-packed with racists, man. And I just started wondering, it's like, what do these people have, this obsession against, black people or African Americans or African people? I was like, I was just fascinated just reading the whole thing, and I just decided to shut it off. I went to bed because I was so tired, and it's like some people are just dumb. And, I think you and I had a conversation about this whole Brexit thing. And how it's given a lot of crazy racist people,
that's a wave.
To go ahead to start, talking shit, And I remember there was this one where this Polish family in, I think in Peterborough actually, or is it Huntingdon?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Peterborough.
Really?
This place is pretty bad.
Really?
Well, it's just like UKIP village. It's like you just go around and there's vote leaves everywhere. There was UKIP signs up everywhere. It's just like a nightmare. And it's one of those things. I'm coming home on the train, right? And there'll be some nutter. There'll be some kind of crazy guy with his eyes rolling around in his head or something, just grunting. And there's one guy that was sort of boasting on the train that he hadn't stabbed someone for 5 years, and that was his sort of his claim to fame. And then of course they get off at Peterborough. I just say you're getting up at Peterborough, aren't you? And then they all do.
Oh god, yeah. So that's me not moving to Peterborough. Thanks, JBone.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'll just
do that.
scratch off.
I'm trying to move out as quickly as possible. My house is quite nice once you get in the house.
It's safe.
Until then, getting back through the to the dark streets.
No.
It's okay because I can at least I can look like a racist.
Yeah. They don't check you.
Yeah, they won't.
Yeah.
Although I could look like a Polish person, I guess.
No, you don't have those features. No. I mean, I don't know what are those features. Yeah, there I go sounding like a racist. I'm like, what the fuck do I know? Huh? Well, do I pay attention? Do I study human physique? No. But basically, I had to go back and recall a previous conversation we had, and what about, one of the reasons why a lot of people voted for the Brexit. And I have to basically cede some of my arguments earlier because I think it's just education, man. People didn't understand what they voted for. They just got caught up in this whole furore of let's get British independence, blah 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 blah. And even then, that's a totally separate, that's a.
It was just a protest.
Yeah, but it's a totally separate, of course it's a totally separate conversation or discussion or point than, let's kick all foreigners out. That's a totally different thing. That's not what, the UK leaving the Brexit means. There is no inverse relationship of, let's say non-British people living here, with the UK's EU membership. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't mean, oh, we're going to pull out the EU. That means automatically everybody has to go now. That's not what it means, but.
Well, and it's almost the opposite. We'll probably have more immigration.
You reckon?
Well, we'll have probably the same, but it will be under worse conditions. We'll basically have to renegotiate entry into the free market again with Europe, but it will invariably be under worse terms. And part of that deal will be that we have to accept free movement of workers. So it's nothing good coming out of it as far as I can see.
So why did they...
This vague notion of us being a sovereign state.
Yeah, but like I said, though, I mean, the UK was never really that much of a member of the EU to begin with, even before it became the EU. So
we were legally, but not sort of culturally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's that whole pride thing, and I think now we're going back to a conversation we had earlier this week about how I basically put forward the notion that I think it's maybe pride that you guys were an empire once, and there's this callback to glorious days of yonder years or future past or something. I don't know. What I don't really get is that X-Men Days of Future Past thingy. I think it's a dumb title for a film because I don't necessarily understand what that Days of Future Past means. It's like a mental gymnastic my mind feels every time. Can you explain that to me, please?
I don't know. I don't even know what this film is. Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it's like one of the X-Men movies that came out like a year or two ago, and I just don't understand what the title means. Days of Future Past. It's like they just put two contradicting words together to sound cool. And what?
Yeah, I think it is just an oxymoron.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me.
It's impossible. Yeah.
Oh well, but yeah, going back to Star Wars. Listen, okay, fine. My next complaint: the chick.
slight off the track.
Yeah.
What was your next complaint?
The lady Rey. What's her name? Yeah, Jesus Christ. And it's one of the reasons why I'm not going to watch Rogue One.
What do you mean?
Well, she's too perfect, man.
You can't just say that.
She's too perfect. I don't like it.
Well, you mean she's not like someone that's been stranded on a desert island? Her skin's too good for someone that's been on a desert
good point, actually.
a desert planet for however long she was there.
Where's the tan? She doesn't even have a tan. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I need to see tan lines.
Space suntan.
Yeah. Maybe it's a future. Maybe they have you would think that the inhabitants of Japan.
But she couldn't even afford rations, let alone sort of oil of ole or whatever, oil of space.
Yeah, space ole. Maybe they have advanced versions of oil of ole or something, or whatever. Suntan.
Yeah, maybe she's 80 years old.
Potentially. Dude, I was thinking about what's the best example for this? The Lord of the Rings and whatnot, elves and all that. What if you had an elven sex worker that's been doing the business for hundreds of years, and she doesn't age because she's an elf, right? And imagine how good she is at her job or something.
Can they die from venereal infection?
Yeah, obviously they have to practice safe sex. But I was just tossing around the idea in my head saying, holy shit, the sheer fact that elves can live that long, they'll probably make the best sex workers. I just thought of it in my head.
Well, it depends how dispirited you... It depends, do you get better or do you get worse?
Everything.
Because you're getting more and more degraded and you suddenly just become like a husk.
But not...
I imagine that's what happens,
yeah, they'll probably just have dead eyes.
Well, it depends. You have two, don't you? You have two types. There's the sort of the street whore.
Yeah.
Just
elves
basically probably under control of a pimp, and they're just basically part of the sex trade, and it's really terrible. And then there's the sort of internet thing where they choose and they I've watched a documentary on this, and they make tons of money, and they was sort of saying to the camera, at least, don't feel degraded. I feel like I'm under control, and this is a job, basically.
I think elves will make street workers, man. No.
Yeah, which case I imagine they get worse with time because they become more and more of just a sort of spunk bucket.
They'll just have dead eyes, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the beauty will be there, but you walk into that, you just basically feel your soul go cold because you look into our eyes, there's just nothing there. And you're like, wait, how long have you been doing this? She's like, dude, 400,
200 years.
407 years. It's just like, you're like, how many hand jobs have you given? It's like in the hundreds of thousands.
This is probably where like bloody Game of Thrones is going.
Well,
All they need is immortal elves, and they'll have done that.
yeah, man, and
He missed a trick. You should talk to whatever his name is. I want to say Jage. It's not. What's his name?
is it like the previous guest I had on?
No, the guy that makes Game of Thrones.
Oh, George R. Martin.
Oh, right. I knew there was like a double
Double R. Martin.
George J.J. Abrams.
George J.J. Abrams. Yeah, what should I speak to him about?
Oh no, just to suggest that as an idea. He missed a trick on that. Having an immortal race that sort of just can be like, because he's got lots of prostitutes in Game of Thrones, but none that are immortal.
No, imagine that. The immortal Elven whore. She'll probably become a madam at some point because she's like, listen, I've done this for 1,000 years. I'm done. Just want to hire like a retinue of women to do the job for me. But I don't know why. I just tossed the idea in my head. I'm like, that would be interesting to investigate.
Right. So how does this relate back to
I
Ray?
have no idea. I just...
You were making a point about Ray?
My mind just went off and I went with it. Okay, so let's focus back to Star Wars. All right, the thing with Rey, yeah, she's too. She's too perfect. She's like, there's this whole allegations of like she's like a Mary Sue character, and I absolutely agree with those those arguments because I'm like. I think you disrupted my point earlier because you talked about suntan lotion, but that's fine. I welcome the distractions. No, but think about it. It took Luke Skywalker 2 movies to even become anywhere near proficient with the Force. This lady did it in 47 minutes.
Yeah, but I hope that it will be explained in the next episode, and I think it's because she's actually been trained already and she's been blanked or something.
Yeah. So
I think she has been trained, but we'll find out. If she hasn't, I agree.
Find out and tell me.
I agree. If she was just basically some person, but she's clearly got a backstory because there's a whole thing about her being left on the planet by whom. Who was she before? Yeah. If she's come cold from this Force and able to suddenly pull up, just enter a lightsaber battle, then yeah, sure, it's not good.
No, yeah,
and also it's a bit much that even Finn could do it.
What? Really?
Well, Finn was in the lightsaber battle. He stood his own against, admittedly, like Kylo Ren was pretty shot up at that point, but he did slice him in the spine. Until then, he was doing quite well.
Okay, so Jesus, where do I even start with that? Fine. If we assume the lightsaber is just a weapon that you can always use, I mean that's fine. It's just a dangerous weapon that probably should only be used if you have a proficiency with the Force, so you don't slice your ear off or something while you're spinning around fighting another Force user. But it's just Rey. I mean, Jesus, she was doing everything. She was flying the Millennium Falcon like she's always done it. She's telling what's his name, the Harrison Ford's character, Han Solo, how to fly his own ship. He's been flying that for like 20-30 years and she's telling him how to do it.
Yeah, but this is all the sort of bantery fun that they have in all Star Wars.
Yeah, this one's just not very good because come on. And okay. I mean the whole coincidence thing that they should they get captured by this. You remember when they escaped Jakku with the Millennium Falcon, and then they get captured by this other ship, and then somehow Han and Chewie were on board, and it's just
that was a weak scene as well. That one with the the monsters. Anything that had the CGI in, I wasn't a fan of.
What do you have against CGI anyway?
It just doesn't feel right. And I like movies where there's a lot of dialogue and there's not so many special effects, really. I like sort of Pulp Fiction, Glorious Bastards, all of that sort of Quentin Tarantino stuff, stuff where they just have long conversations that are quite well done. And I like the sort of in Force Awakens, I just like the sort of general feel of it, and the way the things were shot and the humor.
Maybe because I watched it in German, I didn't see it.
And I think that's what I was holding this back to say. I think actually you missed the thing I liked about the film, which was the acting and the humor and the the way that it felt. Basically, it felt happy and light-hearted. I'm not one for like heavy movies, really. I say after saying
I was going to put you down there. So what the fuck? No, but
then I think Pulp Fiction's a comedy. So
yeah, I think
we'll have to disagree.
I'm never going to watch Pulp Fiction ever again. So don't you dare suggest to me to watch it.
Oh come on, we're going to watch it together.
No, don't want to watch it, JBone, ever again. I'm good.
I'll stand behind you, deep breathing.
No, okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm not. I'm just gonna avoid your house for the next 18 months. How's that? Yeah.
Oh, we gotta watch
No, we
Pulp
don't
Fiction
have to.
because I don't believe that you cannot like it.
I don't want to. I have the DVD. I bought the DVD. I've never watched it.
If I like edit out the scene that you don't like, can we
Yes.
watch it? Which is the best scene, one of the best scenes. by the way.
No, I don't. Now I know you're trolling me for sure.
The GIMP scene.
God.
Or was it? It wasn't necessarily the GIMP scene. It was the sort of the buggery
Yeah, the
scene.
buggery
Right?
scene. Ugh, Jesus.
We can probably do without
Ooh.
that. It's not like important.
It was so
really.
visceral as well. I was just like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need sectors of my hard drive dedicated to this.
Did you watch Inglourious
I
Bastard?
did.
Did you like that?
I did. Well, there's two things I don't like about the film. Well, there's just the one thing I don't like.
I've only watched it once, so I can barely remember it actually. But I remember I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, the part I didn't like was when, I'm not going to say spoiler alert because, God, the film came out like 20 years ago, where the guy was choking out the actress. I thought that scene dragged on too long, and I think it was brilliantly done the way Quentin shot that scene, because I was begging for someone to save the actress because it was just because the scene was prolonged. And normally you would think at some point, last minute, someone's going to come in, punch the guy, and she's going to catch her breath, and it's going to be a last minute save. But it didn't happen, and that's why it regaled me so much. And I think objectively, I would say it's very well done. But that's also the main reason why I don't.
Objective.
Yeah, at least
it's just too uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable for me. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I thought
Do you like Ali G and Borat and stuff like that? Are you okay with that sort of
Yeah.
squeamishness?
I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Because that's real
Yeah, I know.
life.
Yeah.
It's real squeamishness.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Especially that scene where they have that gay kiss and they throw chairs and bottles over the. And he's been banned from that state.
What state?
Wherever he did that. What was it? It was Bruno.
I haven't seen Bruno yet.
You haven't seen
No.
Bruno? Oh my god! So that might push you too far because that's very, very cringeworthy.
Really? What? So it
Yeah, and it involves buggery as well. So you might.
Yeah, but it's not as visceral as fucking Big Quentin Tarantino.
Well, it's not. It's not as dark. No.
So this is like
I can't remember what state he did it in. Bruno banned from Ukraine.
Ukraine.
No. No.
It's banned from somewhere. Can't believe this. I think next time you and I should have a 20-minute conversation where we bang out all the research first.
Well, it's hard to know what to research first.
Yeah, because that's the thing with conversation.
Whatever state he did it in.
I'll find out. I'll watch Bruno.
You haven't even watched it, so there's no point in me talking about it. But they have. Well, I can tell you, they have a gay kiss in this, and in a no. They start off in a pit, and not in a pit, but you know, one of those sort of like octagon, bare fist, extreme
UFC,
fighting.
like MMA.
Basically, yeah, UFC octagon thing, and they're fighting, and he's, it's him and his. It was not like a real. It's him and another actor that was in the film. But everyone else is real that's watching, and they're all going, yeah, and he's like, they have this massive fight, and they knock each other to the ground, and then they do that, then they have a little kiss.
Oh God, Jesus!
And then suddenly the mood changes in the room, and they go absolutely nuts.
Oh wow!
They start throwing like bottles over the
the ring or whatnot.
Yeah, over the ring and chairs, and by the end of it, like there's like just chairs and bottles everywhere, like in the middle of
Yeah.
the ring, and they're just kissing
Oh
in the
wow.
middle, and there's people just standing there with their hands in their
Oh
mouth,
man.
like they just like look genuinely
You know
upset,
what? That's so ironic that they,
and it's been banned from that
yeah.
state forever.
But you know, here's the irony. I haven't even seen the film, but I can just say it out loud. Those people were there to watch people beat the shit out of each other, so they're okay with violence, just not sexuality. And something.
Yeah, then you can shoot someone, but you can't shoot
No,
nipple.
that's the thing. It fascinates me with Americans. It's insane. They're so gone crazy. The entire society, the entire culture is just violent. As one of violence. I feel, it's in there amongst other things. But Jesus Christ, heaven forbid a nip slip on national television. People get heart attacks. People's children start crying. The flag is put at half mast. The eagles start crying. And the bald eagle just goes on top of Capitol Hill and just lets out this shriek of pain because they've seen a nipple. And of course, there's this other irony that the Americans are amongst the largest consumers of pornography on the internet. So there's just that whole weird thing about, oh God. Well, hey, but anyways, before we run out the door,
One thing that,
sorry.
Well, one thing that like really brought that to the fore when there was one week where there were two computer games that came out. One was bloody Hotline Miami or something, right? And one was some you never heard of it because it got banned, right? But it got taken off Steam because it was some like dating game. Well, it wasn't a dating game, but it's some seduction game where you were going to seduce women, and there was quite graphic sex scenes in it, But it was all cartoon. It wasn't like real pornography. It was cartoon, and that was banned from Steam. But bloody Hotline Miami,
that, by the way.
Where you're a serial murderer. Well, I played it. I enjoyed that, right? But
you're just killing people in the most horrific way.
Fine. Yeah.
So what are we saying here? What is it with sexuality that people hate anyway?
I don't know.
Jesus, there's 7 billion people because people fuck. We seem to like it. Because
I know, seem to like killing people. Even
bloody
more.
hell! Well, dude. We might as well get into it at this point. So, you accuse me. Well, no, you don't accuse me. You say I'm a feminist, even though I don't know it.
Well, yeah, I think I can prove you're a feminist in about 20
Why
seconds.
do I need to be a feminist? Why can't I be like a person that likes both sides? I like men and women.
Well, do you agree that women should have equal opportunities and rights?
Yeah.
You're a feminist.
But I agree at the same time that men should have equal opportunities and rights.
Yeah, but we kind of do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We don't need to fight for men. Well,
yeah, but at the same time, I mean, there's some justices, man, when it comes to like the legal system. If a woman should trigger a divorce, which in most cases they do, she gets literally half of the guy's wealth. I mean, dude, I've been reading some crazy articles about, there's this one about this lady, right? She has a kid with a guy. They're married for like 10 years. So they had a kid together. Then she divorced the guy. Then the guy remarried. 11 years later, he wins 2.1 million pounds in a lottery. 11 years later, right? He wins 2.1 million pounds in the lottery. His ex-wife takes him to court and had the judge literally order him to pay her 800,000 pounds out of that 2.1 million pounds that she had nothing to do with. Is that fair? Is that,
Well, it depends what she sacrificed for in the marriage, because often in this country, because I can only speak because I did a little bit of this when I did law. It's more the fact that the woman usually, you can either work and earn money and then that's what you put into a central pot, or you can do something. You sacrifice making money, so you give up your career and look after kids basically, and at that point the judge will put value to that and say that you've given up your career because the man carried on, and therefore you are entitled to money. So I agree that if you just go if you're a gold digger, you go in, you haven't had any children, you haven't given up anything, you weren't, then I can't see why you should get money, and I don't think in this country you would. So it's probably an American thing.
Yeah, that's the point. I would like to introduce it to Amber Heard, Johnny Depp's fucking crazy gold digging ex-wife.
Yeah, I've heard about this on your previous
Fucking
podcast.
hell, what a crazy psychotic bitch. And I called it. I called it right from the get-go, even though Audacious didn't believe me. And I told the dude, I fucking called it. But anyways, no. But going back to the case. So, okay, here's my gripe with that first case, right? So the guy was still paying child support, obviously, because they had a daughter together. And he remarried with his wife. Everything was fine. The wife didn't find any need to go to the court any time between those 11 years to say, I need more money or etc. No, everything was fine, JBone.
Right.
But the moment she heard he won the lottery, she just went and took him to court. What is that? That is fucked up. That is fucked up. So what is that? For me, it screams of entitlement, which has nothing to do like equal rights or equal opportunities anymore. Because if you want to talk about equal rights or opportunities, when they got divorced, I'm sure, the judge must have split the assets or something. And, of course, ordered him saying, listen, you got to support your kid because, fine, even though primary custody is still with the mother, and that's another weird thing on its own or outright, but I'll belay that for now. The guy's still paying child support. She was fine. But the sheer fact that she was able to drag this guy back into court 11 years after the fact that they've been married, in 11 years after they've been married, and that entire income that he had from the national lottery that he had nothing to do with the marriage, but she still had claims over it. So what kind of equality is that? What is this guy's equal rights to say no, she doesn't fucking deserve anything because when we were married, all the assets we built together, we split it or something?
But is this related to feminism though? It's like would it be the opposite if the woman was the other way around, and would it have been different? Yeah, like if they just had a gender swap and then they were different genders, would it have been a different decision?
Absolutely, yeah. Because basically, first of all, it has to depends on what guy want to go to court. It has to be a piece of shit. But hey, that's me being discriminating against the man. But if I don't think any man would do that. But if you divorced your wife and you guys have settled everything, and 11 years later in a new marriage, she wins the lottery and you wanted to claim money into that, you think any court would say, yeah, you're going to get access to that? So my point being in this particular case is that where is that equality for the guy, which is always my argument when, I argue with like some feminists online and they just bring up all these things. I'm like, okay, fine, I get where you're coming from. But we have to think about the other side as well. We can't just stay on one side and say it's all about the women's rights. I'm like, yeah, what about the guys' rights that are being slowly, if not outright, eroded? So where is the balance there? It seems like nowadays what I seem to perceive is this entitled men. It's not even about equality anymore. It's just about this whole domination from these crazy people, and no offense to you, that say they're feminists, because I look at the definition, I'm like, okay, but why is it this way now that I feel that there is a form of domination here that men basically have almost no rights anymore when it comes to such legal matters? If you're married and your wife wants to divorce you, there's a huge chance that she'll take your kids, she'll take all your assets, or if not half of it, and then you'll be paying child support for the rest of your life. And sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but I think it would be the other way around. If the man was stay-at-home dad, I think it would be the other way around. I don't think it's more of a failing of the divorce system than the fact that it's a woman. And just because normally it is the woman that stays at home doesn't mean that that's sexist.
No, but that's the thing, though. So why then do people still feel like women's rights are still not? I don't know, there's still nothing behind women's rights and everything. For me personally, I believe that whole battle has been won. That was won back when no-fault divorce came into effect back in the 80s or something. And now the third wave feminism, they're just fucking going crazy. And it's not even about equality anymore. It's just about domination. And I have issues with that. That's why.
Well, you're talking about a minority of people that aren't actually, most feminists would say they're not feminists. They're like, nutters. Like it's more about, just equality and making sure not really equality as such as equal. It's more like about fairness.
That's what I'm arguing from the other side as well. There should be a fairness for guys, because it's just not women that should be entitled to fairness. It should be fairness.
But when have you personally had any problem with
personally not for me, and I hope never to. But I see a lot.
It's mainly divorce is your issue, and I think that's. I mean, I think divorce law is a bit crap, but I don't think that's got anything to do with the sexes. I think that's just the way the divorces work at the moment.
Yeah, okay. There's that, and then there's that whole.
There must be some examples of some women that earned a ton, and a man left and took a ton of cash from the woman. There must be.
There is this one case in America. I've forgotten the lady. She's some talk show personality, celebrity host, something, and so she earns more than the guy, and the guy decided to divorce her, and she has to pay him set amount like $200,000 every year or something, which was ridiculous. So, and the way I found out about it was because she went on national news like Oprah or something like that, complaining about how the divorce laws are really horrible, and a lot of sentiment that was in the comments of that video was like, yeah, that's what dudes have been doing all these times. So now you get to see the reverse of that. So a lot of people, do it.
Well, as I said, I think it's just because the prevalence of the man earning much more than the woman, rather than the fact. I think it's divorce laws crap, but not. I don't think it's a feminism thing.
But I still think there's an argument there. To be that, because if it's so, why are we still screaming about this? Why are women still protesting and they're doing slot walks in Canada saying this and that there's a rape culture, there's a rape issue where there's literally clearly not. Yes, sexual assaults happen, but those are crimes that are persecuted. They make it seem like it's a fucking epidemic when it's not. They've never been to somewhere like was it Delhi or somewhere in India that the people are just getting raped all the time. You don't hear feminism screaming about that, but they're just screaming about like tribe bullshit, things that are not even nothing near what going crazy about. But there's this whole thing, this whole massive movement that there is a problem with equality and fairness, especially in the Western culture, which I just find it fucking, my mind goes numb and I get headaches when I see it. And people are saying about like how, equal pay rights or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, we have the, this whole, you've probably heard of this arguments where they said men and women are not paid equally or something. You must have heard about that, right?
Well, it's true.
No, it's not.
It's
not. I don't necessarily believe it's true. I don't necessarily. No, it's not, because
in a lot of sectors, it's objectively
okay.
True.
So when we say sectors, I mean, fine. How many women How many women are carpenters? How many women are plumbers? How many women are electricians? How many women are miners? How many women work on oil rigs and whatnot? So if men are working all those jobs, which are not entirely pleasant to do, but they're very hard and they pay very well and they get paid a lot more money. So who are you to complain that you're not being? I mean, what is that about?
No, it's more about people in the same job with exactly the same level not getting paid the same.
Yeah. So is there any proof of that? How do you prove it? Okay. So
there's lots of proof about gender inequality in the workplace on that front on pay.
How did they find out? I mean, do they split up everyone's paychecks?
I guess it was just polls. Yeah, they just asked how much you're getting paid. I certainly know it's true in the vet world. So
okay.
And it's just it's that sort of nominal discount for the pregnancy discount, which I hope will go away when I'm hoping this happens quite a lot. They changed the law so that the man can take the whole paternity.
Yeah, I heard of that.
And it'd be nice if most people did 50-50, and then at that point, I'm hoping the pay inequality will go away.
I don't necessarily. Okay, fine.
The man's just as risky as a woman to
fine.
hire.
I'll consider the sheer fact that fine. Of course, nothing's ever black and white. The world is grey. Everything's complex, but I don't necessarily think it's endemic, and that's why I always come back. It's made to seem it's endemic where it's not. I mean, I clearly I work in a job where my peers are paid more than me. You don't hear me complaining. So, oh yeah, the women, I should be paid more. No, I just get on with work. I mean, these jobs, it's mostly office type jobs anyway, that, people complain, oh, men are getting paid more. That may be in a way sometimes true, maybe because the men work, longer hours, maybe they work more, maybe it's the nature of the job. The best way to probably measure it is if you measure every single job. I mean, the man and woman have to do the exact same job. They have to start the job at the exact same time. And then we can start saying, okay, fine, why is this pay being discriminated? I will not say it doesn't necessarily exist outright. Yes, everything, those things do exist, but it's not as endemic that it should bring an entire fucking country to its knees on the social front, that we should scream about it, saying, oh, there's gender inequality, blah, 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 blah. And that's the thing. That's where I get really, really hacked off when people are just screaming constantly, oh, this is a problem. And I was like, no, it's there, but it's not as bad as it should be. I mean, it's like I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it's so insane that the way she made it seem like if women are being prevented. I mean, I remember arguing with some guy on Facebook that later removed me because he was saying about, I mean, he was just coming from a totally different angle, saying, men should just, stop running countries because we're always getting to wars and stuff. I'm like, yeah, kind of, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, we fucking built everything. So what are you trying to say? And he was saying, oh, women should run everything. I'm like, okay, so now you're applying reverse sexism to fix your perceived notion of sexism against women in the first place, and he couldn't, that couldn't flip in his head, and so it's just those kind of conversations just, drives me nuts. Yeah, there are problems. We tackle it, which is why there's always been regulation. There's laws put into effect, like the equal pay rights, which says, okay, fine, you got to pay everybody equal. We shouldn't pay them differently because of gender differences. So yeah, if you find a case where clearly a woman,
or lots of other differences as well.
Yeah. But if you find a case where a woman's, you don't pay a woman because she's a woman, then you're a piece of shit. We should go after you, because if she demonstrates that she can she does the job,
Listen to you sound like a diehard feminist.
But that's the thing. I protest the label because
that statement's a feminist statement.
Well, I think it's a human statement. That's where I'm coming from, because I don't look at gender to that particular aspect. I just see a human being that should be treated fairly. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. But, I mean, I say feminism because
why the label then? There's no need for the label. Just say you're humanist. You're a fair person.
You're attacking rather than
just try. Why feminist? Why just not say I'm a humanist? I look at both sides. I support both sides. Why do you have to come from one side? For me, even the conceptual.
It's not really about coming from one side. It's more about just addressing an inequality.
Yeah, but
I would do it on any equality because I believe in fairness above almost anything.
Yeah,
else.
I believe in fairness too, but I don't necessarily would put it on the label as calling myself a feminist.
I get more upset against racism, to be honest. That upsets me more. But there isn't a movement for other racism. So I agree. I think it should just be humanist or whatever you say.
That's what we should be going for, to be honest.
Humanism.
Yeah, let's just.
Well, okay, I'll change it. I'll be a humanism. I'll be a humanist.
Thank you. You join me in the middle.
Okay, so Star Wars is shit, and I'm a humanism. What?
I think that's the title of this episode. Star Wars is shit, and I'm a humanist.
You won the conversation.
No, sorry if I battered you into ground. It's just,
No, I agree. I mean, it's more like, I mean, you heard of positive discrimination and things like that, where you take on minorities just because you haven't got, we've got loads of male programmers, you just want to get some female programmers in just because you want to address some perceived inequality, right? And that's a very interesting issue, because the initial thought is, no, why do that? Just take the best person for the job. But then you think about it a bit more, and sometimes you can say, actually think it's a good idea, because if the state programming is entrenched in being a male dominated thing, which it wasn't always, but say it is now, which it fairly you could argue that it is, then you feel like there's no reason for it to be male dominated.
Yeah, but
so if you can help people that want to get into it but feel afraid to get into it to do it, then it's only a temporary measure basically to get to a state where you have a natural equilibrium.
Yeah. Okay. See, this goes back to this was, I think I don't know if I did this in a previous podcast, this series or my previous series, where I talked about Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, and that whole 50-50 cabinet.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned.
Yeah. So that's what I have an issue with, because it is statistically impossible to reach a 50-50% cabinet that's equally male and female. It was a symbolic statement, and I understood what it was doing, but I don't necessarily agree with it, because for me, I always come back with that whole reverse sexism, because I think, what's the word, meritocracy or something? Yeah, that's what it should be. Let's not look at gender as well. Fine, and that's why tonight I don't like.
And it should be, you should have an equal opportunity with whoever you are to get to that state.
You shouldn't just.
But once you actually choose, you've got to choose on the basis of merit. Yeah.
So that's the issue I had with him, because I understand he's saying, okay, fine, maybe he's trying to encourage more women into politics and everything, but okay, let's look at it the other way. Maybe there are not a lot of women interested in politics. There is that argument, I can't say all of them because everyone's interested in everything. So, maybe politics, there's not a lot of women interested in it. They'd rather go do something else that's more interesting and fun and more worthwhile of their time, more fulfilling. But if there isn't an interest there, you can't force the hand. You shouldn't force the hand because that's not how it works. So, like, if we go back to the programming example, I don't necessarily, okay, fine. So I would take issue with it if, let's say, we're this company is trying to hire for the hiring program, my speech is going down. They want to hire new programmers. And then obviously out of, the candidates, you get a few female, candidates that come in and they want to go for the programming job. Now, I would take an issue, and this is, this probably doesn't happen, that if the person, the company can say, you know what, all our programmers are male and we don't necessarily think you'd fit because it looks like a male dominated environment. So we're not going to consider you for the role. That rarely happens. That usually doesn't happen until the person leaves. But that's my issue right there. That is sexism, and that is what I take issue against. But if you have a female candidate comes up and she applies for the job and she is suited for the job, and why shouldn't you hire her? Just hire her. So that whole thing, that's why I absolutely abhor what Justin Trudeau did. So I don't like him. And he has this arrogant smug to him. They were asking him, oh, yeah, so, how did you manage to, get like a gender balanced cabinet? And the guy just sat back and put it, it's like, because it's 2016. And I was like, you dumb asshole. Okay, see, now I feel bad. I think I just battered you enough with my rantings for the last 20 minutes. Now I feel horrible.
No, what do you mean this? I think it was a terminology thing more than a fundamental issue. Because basically, I agree. It's just I see what you mean, that feminism is just if you're being positively discriminating, or if you're coming too much on the side of, rather than being just everyone's equal and let's just sort of try not, and that's wrong statement anyway. Is everyone's equal? It's more, as I said, it's more about fairness. Just as long as we're fair and everyone has the same opportunity, then everything's good in the world, in my opinion. Rather than choosing a side and fighting for it regardless.
Because for me, it's like if instinctively, if I see like a couple fighting, I would instinctively want to help the female because she's physically weaker than the guy. I might not even know what causes the argument. She might have caused the argument. That doesn't matter. I mean, that shouldn't be happening. I'll just jump in, and then obviously they'll both turn on me, and then I'll get beaten up. But but instinctively, I feel that way. Like, I'll just help her because, if she wants to go fight a guy, unless you're like Ronda Rousey or some MMA type fighter and even then it depends on the kind of person you want to fight. But God, I didn't understand my point. But fairness, man, and that's all I'm about. It's just fairness, and it's just when people say stuff about, let's just go from one angle, and I'm like, no, let's just look at both sides of the argument. Let's look at both sides of the equation, and that's how we fix things. That's how we got to get things done. And I sound very preachy, and I want to go away in that right now.
Yeah, Well, you're right. Otherwise, it turns into tribalism, and you just join a side, and that's always bad to join a side. That's why I've always find it hard to follow sport or anything like that, or because I'm not a nationalist at all. So I don't believe that the fact I live in a certain place in England means that I should support some other footballers that live in my country, or any other sports. And I don't believe that if I went to war, I would want to fight for my country. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd be more into the sort of World War II thing where you're fighting for an ideology. You're fighting against
fascism or whatnot.
Fascism or something. That would get me going. That would get me out with a gun in my hand. But not just like, oh, I was born in this country. Where do you stop? I live in this city. So I find it very hard to form an allegiance on the basis of thin air, just from my random circumstance of life.
Fair enough. I think I gravitate towards that particular sentiment because for me, I was born and raised in Nigeria and eventually moved to Germany, and now I live in the UK. I think one of my girlfriends, she called me like a third culture kid. And it's some kind of weird phenomenon that happens, exactly like in my situation where you're born in one culture and then you get exposed to this other culture and then you get exposed to another. So you have like these three cultures, and by the time that happens to you, you just almost have no allegiance to anyone, because like
you've got even less reason.
Yeah. Because right now, if I wanted to move somewhere, I would just go. I sometimes think about my country of birth, but yeah, I mean.
As long as it's not Europe. Actually, you're not a British citizen, so that's all right.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a human being and everything.
Human citizen.
Yeah, Terran. I'm a Terran.
You should watch Star Trek. I really think you should.
Yeah, but I don't have the patience. I mean, it's like the Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah, well, you start with that. Why not?
Yeah, I don't have the time, JBone. I don't have the time. I'd rather watch Voyager, the one with Captain Janeway, because I fancy Captain Janeway.
Until you saw her.
No, I still fancy her.
All right.
I don't know why. I just
until you heard her voice. Oh, that was it. It was the other way around. You used to like her because you used to listen to dubbed versions, right? So you used to hear some sexy German version, and then you hear the real.
No, but you know what? She's in Orange. You've heard of this TV show, Orange is the New Black?
Yeah, I've never seen it. Orange is the New Black.
I don't know why I watch it. It's very interesting to watch. She's in there.
She's a nice, strong woman, and that's the idea, was that she was. I mean, that's very feminist. You're watching feminist things, Voyager. That's all about. It was all about a woman taking charge of a ship, and she's a strong woman that can make powerful decisions. In the early 90s, when it was like pretty, gender equality was pretty bad.
Well, I don't know. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought she was fit.
And reverse.
I'm a guy, so women are attractive to me. So yeah, okay, fine. Obviously, I did like the way she ran the ship, because I can't explain it. I like the way she was just cool, calm. She's the captain. She's always in control, and she tries to make the right decision based on the worst circumstances. And she's kind of fit. And, so all those factors combined. And I won't lie to you. I heard her voice in English, and I still like her, So there you go. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily say, I didn't know it was a feministic thingy. My mind doesn't grasp those concepts, to be honest, too much. I just see what's in front of me, and I think I like it that way. I keep it simple.
Yeah.
But right.
I didn't think we'd be agreeing so much on this.
Yeah. Hey,
from our preamble.
Yeah, that's what conversation's about, which is why we should have more of it. I really have to run though.
Yeah, I've got to go make pizza, so let's call it a day.
Envy, what does that taste like? I haven't had pizza all year.
It's going to taste good. I've made the dough myself, so it's probably like the size of my head now.
Home-baked pizza. Oh my god.
Home-baked pizza. Yeah, it's one of my special skills.
So what kind of pizza? Pepperoni or what?
It's going to be quite simple today. I don't actually know. I'm going to look in the fridge. Probably a bit. I think quite like mushrooms, so I'll put those on. But if we've got pepperoni, why not?
Brilliant.
Got some things. It's all right. No one will ever be able to geolocate me, and I haven't said anything particularly controversial.
I would have edited that out as well. So you're giving me even more work. Thank you. That's fine.
But it's hardly like I'm usually defender of equality rather than a crazy madman. So it's not like I'm going to be put in prison for the words I say. Not yet, anyway. Yet. Not until we live under the rule of fascism again.
So maybe becomes Prime Minister.
Exactly.
She'll boot me out.
I heard she was homophobic, really? Which makes me very angry. And both of them, actually.
Really? It's why I think women like that, they just need to sit on a dick or something. Honestly. They need to calm the fuck down, man. Just like, if they were being banged on the regular, they'll be so much more calmer. Honestly. That's my opinion. Of course, it might be wrong, obviously, but that's my opinion. Hey. I was about to round it off in the end and piss off everyone again.
There we go. Yeah, we were getting way too.
Agree too much.
Yeah, we were getting way too agreeable and sort of non-controversial.
That gasp for your voice. Right, JBone, I gotta run.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice speaking, and I'll see you.
Soon. We should do this again. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Cool. I'll catch you later.
Alternate between controversial and less.
I think that this was like the height of it, so we're gonna make it mellow next time round. Just keep it cool a bit.
Yeah,
so that's the plan.
All right then. Take care.
Take it easy and have a nice weekend. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.